YouTube, welcome back to another Front Office Football 9 video. We've got our Raiders series. Oh, that's the first time that was terrible. That was the first time I've done that all series. I've been trying to avoid it, but had to do it once. That was really cringy. Okay, so we are hopping into the 2027 season here. Had our first step forward. We didn't win the division, but we did go 10-7. That was our first winning season with the Raiders. Ended up getting to the wild card round, and we lost that game. But we are at a point now. Let's get a quick check through of the coaching staff. I'm a big fan of where this coaching staff has come to. Yeah. Except for Ricardo Forsman. That's the one that I'm like, well, he does have the young player development trait, which is great. Pretty good with that. Yeah. I hired him to be a vibes guy and to develop young players on the offensive side, because Junior is our offensive coordinator. He's play caller, scouter. Ricardo does some play calling too. It's a good point to check this thing, because we got a few years left here, and if we have to make any tweaks, we'll check on assistant coaches and see if there's a better fit. But otherwise, our head coach Patrick Graham has actually turned into a pretty good vibes guy and developer. Decent scout, pretty smart. He's pretty much like my ideal head coach. My coordinators are pretty much my ideal coordinators. And then Forsman, we really don't need a vibes guy, because we have that in our head coach. So maybe Forsman, maybe that's just, maybe we try and keep the continuity. Maybe that's more important. All right, before we get too down like the rabbit hole of evaluating the team, let's quickly handle what we do. We don't do the stadium plan. Ticket prices, we'll just go with the recommended. All right, now we're in the staff retention period. This is what we were just looking at 2 seconds ago here. I think I'm good to just run through the staff. Assistant coach. We can see what's available. It's an offensive line guy. West Coast. Ricardo's balanced. So balanced is our offense. It makes sense to have a balanced assistant coach. That's the route we're going. Let's evaluate what the team actually did last year. Our offensive line played really well. One of the top sack defending lines, but that's also a quarterback stat. And oh, this is Bert. Alberto's incredible at sensing the rush, reading the defense, making good decisions. He had a sack rate of 4.5%. Only took 27 sacks last year, so that's pretty good football. Yeah. So passing yards was low, 226 yards per game, but we were really we were crushing the ball in the run game, 170 yards a game. So our offensive line is really good. Our quarterback we know is really good. And our run game was really good. We traded for Jahmyr Gibbs. He didn't have the best year. 3.5 yards per carry, 38% success rate. So he took a dip from his Lions production. So he's got some room to grow within this offense, but and then the defense really stepped it up toward the end of last year. They were sort of like a back end of the middle of the pack team as far as yards allowed, points allowed. We were in the deep 20s, but they stepped it all the way up to 7th and 2nd down the stretch of the year. They played really well. Yards allowed in the pass game and run game both really strong. So defense was great. Could hope for a little more sacks. Um yeah, I'm not in the turnover margin. Okay. That's one thing where I'd maybe look for a little bit more discipline out of our offense. 60 from our OC and 50 from our assistant coach. So that's maybe something if we were looking at an assistant coach, which we are. Discipline is probably something I'd go for. Here's an interesting one. Balanced offense. Offensive line focus. We lose some young player development though. That's the one thing. The discipline's great. Let's look at balanced. Just to see here. So here's balanced. The best sorry, I wanted discipline. The most disciplined balanced coordinators here. We got a couple. I think to see a real difference, we'd have to go up to an 80 or a 90 with this next one. And we'd probably end up going with Cyrus Strand. This is a quarterback discipline, but I'm not sure. I think it's just that our defense didn't get a ton of turnovers. Let me check on that. Hold on a second here. Because turnover margin, obviously, is the amount of turnovers you commit and the amount of turnovers that you give up. So that could be a defensive thing. It could be an offensive thing. If we're looking at stats, team stats from 2026. I believe it's miscellaneous. Where do we got? Turnovers. Oh. Okay. Turnovers. We were in the middle of the pack of turnovers. Total turnovers. We were middle of the pack. 9 interceptions. We were even lower on interceptions. We just fumbled the ball quite a bit. Yeah, the fumbling was a problem. The fumbling was a problem. I'm looking for our defensive how many takeaways? I don't know how this is like so difficult to find. Maybe I could just be not smart. It's possible. Oh, the total turnovers by opponents. Yeah, so we did not get a lot of turnovers. Okay. Okay. So we played really sound defense. We just didn't commit a lot of turnovers, and that's why our margin was so we played good football on offense, and we just it's an opportunistic thing. Okay. Good to know. So you know what? I probably wouldn't change a thing. I still want a young player development. Like the young player development for my assistant coach is still really important for me offensively because we do have some young pieces on the offensive side of the ball, namely our quarterback. That's a very important piece. So even though he's a wide receiver focus, would like to keep that in house. All right, so our head trainer. I haven't checked on our trainer quite yet. AJ, he's good. He's good. It's fine. Draft class revealed. So here's the preview. Samuel Aguilar. A couple of receivers at the top. We actually don't have a first round pick. That's something I may try and swindle because we do have the first pick in the second round. May try and trade up. Like, let's see, what would it take to get the 23rd, right? A couple seconds and a fifth. I'd ideally like to give up a couple of our seconds. So here's one that uses all picks from this year, which I'm cool with. So we would use a third and a second, or sorry, a third and a sixth to move up like 7 picks or whatever. It doesn't really excite me. This one we move up into the first round with a third and a first rounder the next year. Yeah, that's weird. That's not weird, but it's a little steep for my liking. Maybe we can get up into the middle of the first round. We give up a second rounder. This one's for 9th overall. A first rounder next year. But then we don't have a first rounder next year. And that's a little bit troublesome for me. I prefer not to do that. Like the 14th pick, like let's see what that can do. First rounder in 2029. Still would prefer not to do that, even though that's the last. Oh, see this. Congratulations. We just traded. Yeah, we're gonna take this. So we would give up our first 2 picks in the second round. We'd still have 2 second rounders, but we'd also get a first rounder. I mean, we move up like 17 picks, get right into the middle of the first round. I love that. Still have 2 second rounders. Pick up a 6th rounder next year. I'd even I'd maybe take a look at like another 4th rounder or something and just get rid of some of these late picks. We have so many late picks. But for now, let's stick with this. Because I like this. Get up into the first round a little bit further. I think I like this. I may hold on this, actually. The first, I probably want to see, so we know we could do it with the Commanders. I think what I'd like to do is get into the roster a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not tagging any of these guys. No, thank you. It's now free agency. Let's start to break down the roster here. All right, so Clyde's a free agent. Clyde's gonna want what? 3 million. He finished the year pretty strong. 4.5 yards a carry, 42% success rate. I'd be open to it, but we don't have a lot of cap space. So that's something that we'll have to... Why is my game freezing so badly right now? That's something we'll have to keep an eye on. We don't have a lot of cap space. Right now we have 50... If we have 42 signed to the roster right now. So and we have a ton of picks. Jorge Britton. It's not worth the 3 million. We have guys stepping up in his place. We have Trace, Alberto, and Trevor Palm behind him as well. We don't need to commit money to that. Can let that rock. Michael Meyer. It's gonna be way too much money. Bruce Mitchell. We could, but it's I don't even want to commit 40K to that. I think I'm okay throwing some money CEH's way. He was pretty good last year. I think it's worth a few million. I'm not going to do it yet. Let's hold, because we got to check out the rest of the roster here. Walt Nilsson. He's got good potential. I like him as like a backup guard. Yep. Totally good with that. Same thing with Clay Skaggs. Totally good bringing him back. As a reserve center, Frank Spellman. Only a couple million to keep him around, and he's got really good potential. Whoa, my thing's jumping around here. This is, yeah, it's a little strange right now. Okay. Oh, Fuaga. We can extend him, but it's into the 2030 season, so we cannot... We can't restructure, unfortunately, right now. Because it affects years outside of our challenge. Jonah Williams. We could extend him to 2028. He's a free agent. I'm a little bit nervous with Jonah Williams being 29. Well, he took a little bit of a dip last year. I'm a little nervous with him dropping below a 63. And I'm wondering if Spellman or Hines could step up and be like a 57. And then we have a value. So I'm not afraid to give out this contract to Spellman. Sign him. It's good to have a backup tackle. That's really good. Right now he's a solid backup. A 45 is solid backup. He can get to a starter level. Brian Hines. Right now we have we could extend him right now on the cheap. I think I'll do that. Don't know what's gonna happen. Just give him an extra year. And now all of a sudden we've got our most of our lines signed on the books, however you want to say it. Ben Barch, we can get him through 2029, but he's in the final year of his deal. I'm thinking it might be time to move Mitchell Padgett over to center, or possibly Aaron Banks. One of these guys. This dude's 308. Padgett's 301. A little bit closer to center level. We could move him over to center. Because right now he's not starting. Yeah, that's going to be one of those things I'm going to look at in the offseason. Because he has huge potential. If we can move him to center and he keeps that potential, he could be a huge plus at center. And really grow in that role. Plus Ben, yeah, in his last year, he's also 28. Centers can last a little bit longer, like into their early 30s or so. Yeah, I'm thinking about moving Mitchell over to center. Um, got both of these homies on until 2029, right? Oh, we have him 2028. That's a huge signing bonus. Oh, I'll wait on that. I'll wait on that. Restructure, same thing with Carlson. We'll wait on that. Most of our defensive line is on the books. One thing to look at is maybe Milton Williams, because we do have Amari Jackson now in a big role. We got Stewart as a backup. Milton Williams, possible that we can move on from him and save some money if we need to. Right now, salary cap situation, 8 million after our draft picks and everything. So that's good. We have how many draft picks? We got like a billion. We got like 12 draft picks or something. So we'll be up to 40, 47, sorry, 57 or so, and then another 8 undrafted to get us into the 60s. And it's always hard to cut guys and stuff like that. I'm almost kind of I'm interested in seeing maybe what we could do getting rid of Milton Williams. If there's any interest there. What did he do last year, by the way? He had 5 sacks. It's not bad for like a rotational guy. He's good. He's a good like rotational pass rusher to have on deck. But not something that's like super crazy. Colin Satori, who started 12 games for us. He's not going to cost that much. Only a few mil. I'd be willing to, yeah, sign him through the rest of the playthrough. I'm in for that. Let's get Satori back. So now we got those 3 at D-tackle. Jackie Caceres, he wants a huge extension. Oh yeah, these 2 are in their contract year. We could actually free up some space with a restructure on Christian Wilkins and extend him. He is 31. Ooh, he's 31. That could be scary. That could be scary. Jackie, this wouldn't be a restructure. This would be a resign. So, but to do so, we would need to figure out. We wouldn't have enough cap space to do it. This one wants like 10 mil or so. Okay. There's some things to figure out on this defensive front, because like we could move on from Milton Williams and re-sign Jackie. And I'm not sure what we'd want to do with Christian Wilkins being 31. Let's keep looking just to see what else we got going on. We got Dre Greenlaw. Good guy to have around. Good special teams player. Solid backup. What's a few mil? Maybe. I'd say he's a pretty good backup middle linebacker to have. Worth it? I don't know. Robert Spillane, I don't love this contract. This is one where yeah, he's been a starter for us. But yeah, I just don't love the skill set. I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. And he's in his final year. He's 31 years old. That's one where I'd be like, let's maybe move on from that. We have like an overstock of weak side linebackers anyway. And he'd be the one that would free up the most money to say goodbye to. Bradley Rodier, he's just a rotational depth guy. Maybe. I don't think we need to keep him around. Yeah, I don't see, like, he's fine. We're pretty locked into these guys. Yeah, I'd like I like this extension. Let's keep him on for one more year. Pretty cheap. Our fourth corner, but like, yeah, pretty cheap. How about Jalen Simpson? He wants a big deal. I think I'm fine letting him walk and just running with these corners, but like that could be a trade candidate right here, possibly. I don't know. He's fine, but he's not, I don't think he's worth like top corner. This is top corner money right here, in a sense. Or near top corner money, and I don't think that he's that. So that's a trade candidate. Because he's young too. We'd probably get a pretty nice bag for that. Morig, we can extend through 2029. He's what? 27, so we'd get him till he's 30. And we'd restructure to open up a few mil this year. Yeah, I'm fine with that. We do have Arturo Murray as well, who we can extend another season for 2.5 mil. I'm not itching to do it. Sammy Finch, who I think is a nice backup, good special teamer. I'm good to bring him back for another year. And then our long snapper, yeah, let's bring him back for 2 years. He's pretty solid. Okay, so after all that, we're at about 7 mil in space. $7 million space. We could go get I think we bring Clyde back. How old is he? 27. We'd have him till he's 28, 29, essentially, maybe 30. We'd have him till he's 29. 3 mil. He was pretty effective for us. I think I mean, like, we may end up drafting a running back too early. But I think it's worth a few million. Especially seeing, like, Gibbs got hurt. Gibbs got hurt last year. Tore his Achilles. We don't know if he's going to walk in. Oh, he's in good health now, but... Yeah, I think just having that... Because Quincy Rolfe didn't really turn out very well. Okay, and now we're at about, like, 3 million space. We know we're not bringing back Michael Meyer. We do need 2 tight ends, though. We're at about 5 receivers. And then it comes down to, do we move Mitchell Paget and then trade Ben Barch to save a few million? I think we see what we can do with Robert Spillane. I don't think he's going to have a market. He's too expensive, not good enough, and old. Nope. So yeah, I think this one's just a cut. Unless we want to eat the 16 million. But I think I'd rather give that money to extend Caceres instead. We could extend Caceres. And then we could also, like, free up some space by extending Wilkins. Sorry, my brain just, like, stopped there for a second. And still be able to keep Milton Williams as, like, a rotational pass rusher. I don't mind that. I'm fine, like, leaning into this defensive line a little bit. and just going out and getting like a strong side linebacker, because we desperately need that right now. Yeah, Spillane. Everybody likes him. He's a great leader. That's a good guy to have around. That's the one like hold up you could say. And then Jalen Simpson. Is this a guy that you go trade? He also seems like a pretty good guy to have around. But, you know. We could move on from a few of these guys also and make a big play in free agency. Just go grab like a real stud at corner, a real stud at linebacker. Go grab like a strong side linebacker. Just make a game-breaking play after freeing up some of that space. Now, my game is really freezing right now. I think there might be a graphics card update for me, but we'll keep it moving. I think yes, we already re-signed Clyde. Yeah, I think the move is let's release Spillane. That'll free up 15 mil. Yeah. That'll free up 15 mil. We can also trade Jalen Simpson. That'll save us from having to re-sign him. Carolina wants him. And we'd give them, oh, we can trade up into the first round with this. Oh, I love this trade. We get the 21st pick. That's our pick. We get our pick back. We give them Jalen and our second rounder. And then Jalen's an expiring contract, and then we get a 7th rounder back as well. Love that. Love that. Cincinnati. We'll give Jalen a 6th for another 2nd and a 4th. That seems like a pretty good value as well. We only have to give up a 6th rounder. And then we can trade up a couple of these seconds for, into the first round like we were planning to with Washington. And then we'll see Miami's offer too. Get a 2nd rounder in 2028. Okay, so we'd get a 2nd rounder back. We don't have one. And a 4th rounder as well. And give up one of our billion 5th round picks. I kind of like that too. What was Cincinnati's again? A 6th rounder. Jacksonville. We give a 4th rounder for a 2nd and a 3rd in 2029, though. Rams. Give a 6th for a 4th and a 2nd. I think I like this. I think I like this Miami offer because we don't have a 2nd round pick next year. The Carolina one does make a lot of sense, though. That's kind of what we were trying to do anyway. Get back up into the first round and give up some of our 2nd rounders to do it. And Jalen Simpson, instead of giving up more picks, seems like the right way to do it. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, we get rid of one of these 2nd rounders, turn it into a 1st rounder, get a whole round ahead, and we give up an expiring contract in Jalen. Done. Okay. And now I may actually look at Bradley Rodier as somebody that we can re-sign just to have a 4th corner. Just, so we're not like scrambling for depth. Hunter Tinsley at strong. He's a good special teamer. Good guy to have in the locker room. Be a 1-year deal. We wouldn't really be committing, so I'll just do it just to have a strong linebacker in the room, just a backup special teamer guy. Dre Greenlaw. It's a good guy to have in the room. Solid backup, good special teamer. 3 mil though for that. It's a little bit of a stretch, I think. He's not going to start for us. He's not going to play significant snaps. And then we look back at the defensive line. I think we were able to keep Milton Williams now, and I think it's worth it too. It's not a crazy contract. Just have some DN depth. Rodrigo Davila, we can probably ice that contract, even though he was, what, a 5th rounder by us? That's somebody I feel fine moving on from. Not right now, but... And then we can get in here and get Jackie a new contract. So I think it's worth it. He's just really good run defender for us. Is it worth this 8 mil, 10 mil? I don't know. Maybe not right now. And what are we at now salary cap wise? We're at about 17 mil. I think we can see what's out there in free agency, and maybe we can go with like a, oh, let's, Christian Wilkins, maybe we restructure that and free up 8 mil, 7 mil in space, extend him a year, and then go after somebody with that extra 7 mil. Yeah, let's see what's out there. Let's see what's available for us, and I think we go for a big fish. And then, if we need that extra space to get some undrafted free agents, we can always do that. Right now, I just want to get a quick check here. 48 players, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh my gosh, 14, 15 picks. 15 picks. We're going to have 63 players on the roster after the draft. So we can absolutely go for a big fish and not even worry about signing any undrafted free agents because, oh my gosh, that's way too many players to have in the draft. And I'd really like to, can we just, somebody just take a bunch of picks from us here. 3 sevenths for this, how many picks? 28? Yeah, a bunch of 7th rounders next year. I don't know what really do next year stuff, but somebody just, can we get into the 4th round just by give us our 4th round pick back with a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th. I love that. Right? We go, oh, that's a 2028 7th, but we have a ton of those. We give up a 23 and the 4th to get up into the 4th round. Yeah. Absolutely. That's the type of stuff I'm looking to do here. And can we what's that 3rd worth? Cincinnati? We're just kind of we're kind of consolidating some of the picks here, just moving up a little bit, getting some more valuable 4th rounder in 2029. Yeah. I mean, what's a 4th rounder in 2029 going to do for us in this challenge? Because that's our last... we're only going to have 1 season with them to develop them. So secretly, this is kind of a good move. But it's a 29th pick, and we're giving up 2 4th rounder. I don't know. I don't love that. I don't love that. What about the 10th pick in the 4th round? We give our 21st and a 6th. We give a 6th round to move up 11 picks. Okay. Maybe. I think we could leave some of this to the draft too. We don't have to consolidate all these now, but I think doing some of that work in the draft would be a smart move. Because we really don't need that many players. All right, let's finally take this thing into free agency here. Oh, yeah, the one thing, Brock Bowers is coming. He's in his final year. We could just re-sign him. I think that would be worth it to do so. He had 40 for 500 and 2 touchdowns. He's a really good blocker as well, so I think yeah, that's where he makes his payday as well. I think it's totally worth his contract. Yeah, so we make that move, and now we're looking at back down to like 13 mil. All right. So that doesn't really put us in like big fish territory, but let's see what's out there. We know we have a couple of moves in our back pocket that we can make to free up some space. Thinking like Ben Barch once we move Mitchell over. Thinking we could move on from Jackie. We could move on from Christian. I don't want to, though. He's still a 79 overall. He is 31. That's the scary part. Yeah, this D-tackle thing is a little scary. Tommy Eichenberg, we can get him on through 2029 for a few mil. I like that, actually. I'm gonna do that. Sorry, I'm like going through and like noticing where we can like re-sign some players, and there's so many like early extensions that we can make that are worth it like that. So we now are looking at about 12 mil in space. Okay. One way to actually see something too. Where's the draft? All right, mock drafts are out. This running back, Richie Tapley. He's fast. He doesn't really like break anything as far as like, let's look at the running backs here real quick. Nobody really like crushes anything. This, I mean, like Richie is good. He's got the 4.4. He's got the most, almost the most reps. Yeah, he looks good. 6.5 grade though. It's not like he's not like breaking the charts here. It's not really a good running back draft, is my points. It's a good corner here. Okay, Lance Fisher, yeah. Fincher, sorry. This guy would be good. So like where do people have him going? Whoops. Lance right here, Lance right here, Lance. So Dallas is almost certainly going to take a corner. Tennessee could take one, looks like maybe receiver. So if we jump up to like 9, San Fran, what would that cost? At this point, now that we have it like the 21st pick, we jump up to 9. They'd want a second, they'd want a first next year. What about 10 with Tennessee? If we just take Tennessee's spot. They'd want our 21st, a 17, and then third rounder in 2028. To move up 11 picks, that's not bad. That's not bad. And then we can either grab that corner Either grab that corner or a few good tackles up there. A couple DNs. We can grab a blue chip prospect though if we do that. Yeah, all of a sudden play our way into you know, a top 10 pick, a blue chip prospect. I think that's worthy of a second and a third. Next year, third. We quickly worked our way out of day 2 if we do this next year. I think I'm okay with that though. I think I'd really like to get up into the top 10. Okay. That's about as much pick trading as I want to do. I think we've got some like still some pretty good late shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 picks still. 13 picks. So we're still at like 61 players after the draft. Okay. Um we're in a bit of a snag with the D tackle scenario. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. They're both pending free agents. I'm not sure I want to get either of them money. But I digress. I think this is as far as I want to take it. Let's see what free agency looks like. And is this our actual free agent list? Nope. Is this it? Yes, okay. So we got center Creed Humphrey. Let's look at all except specialists here. Couple receivers out here. Puka, Romeo Dobbs. Pretty solid at offensive line, I think. D tackle. Javon Kinlaw. He's 29 though. Greg Russo, 26. He's a D tackle in here, huh? Wait, 266? That's not a D tackle, brother. Couple corners in here, but 27, Paulson Adebo. Derek Stingley, okay. 25. Yeah, I mean, that's really no better than Jalen. Quincy Williams, who is a weak outside linebacker. And he's 30. There's no real linebackers out here either. So it's almost like, is there anything that we even really want to spend on in free agency? Anything that we would want to spend on? Here's the other outside linebackers. A lot of these guys are pretty expensive right now. Very weak personality, TJ Edwards, 30 years old. He's strong outside, but he wants money. I'm not sure I want to pay that. There's Robert Spillane. Not a lot of strong linebackers out there. Zaven Collins, and he wants 10 mil per year. $30-year-old Draymond Jones. Yeah, so like there's not a lot of linebackers that I'm super enticed by. Corner, like, yeah. We could go pay Derek Stingley, I guess. Go pay him 10 mil a year. But I don't know. Trying to make sense of like could we it's not a great running back draft. What's the running back market look like right now? Okay, we go like a Brian Robinson, a David Montgomery, Bijan down here. He's 3 mil a year. He's 25 years old. Okay. That's a little something. Just to deepen out our running back group. And Heath Martell. Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna get a running back in the draft. I'd be willing to throw a few mil at Bijan. What did he do last year? He's been pretty good success rate over in Atlanta. Pretty good yards per carry. Yeah. He'll know by April 5th. I'll throw that offer out to Bijan. And that would be maybe a nice step up from Clyde. CH. Just another back in the stable. But I don't really know that there's anything I'm crazy about here. I think we're just kind of stuck going forward with what we got. Maybe just like one of the crappy strong outside linebackers that are cheap. So Zaven Collins was an outside, right? Here's an outside in Draymond. A lot of very weak personalities, which is not a fantastic thing to see. Jonathan Cooper, okay. A fan favorite. He's whatever. It's gonna cost 10 million for that? Oh my goodness. Come on now. Okay, here's something. 47, 24 years old. Tuli. Strong. Strong outside. He's 266 though. Whoa, that's a strong one, all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm in for this. He's more of a depth guy, but like, yeah, let's do that. All right, cool. A couple just quick little free agency things just to diversify the roster a little bit. Couple tweaks. Tuli, nice. We got Tuli. That's fine. He's right there. That's fine. Just to give us some depth at strong. And we got Bijan. There we go. He's a 55. That's perfect. Honestly, that's really like that's perfect. All right. 5th year extensions. We're gonna wrap up this video pretty soon here. Yeah, no 5th year extensions. We're gonna wrap it up real soon. That's it. This was a long video, but I think you know, we were looking through quite a bit of stuff, you know, looking at the roster from all sorts of different angles and just setting this thing up for the long haul, I think. But also for this year, because I do think this is a roster that could win this year. The biggest thing, and I wanted to keep it like they love the roster. D-line is a 60. I'm never good at assembling a D-line. I don't know why. The cohesion ratings aren't out yet, but we were really weak with offensive cohesion last year. I think having some similar faces in place here. Like, there's nobody really, not a ton of new coming through here. We're going to be putting out pretty much the same offense. Might shift Mitchell over to center. We add in Bijan Robinson. But other than that, it's the same offense. So hopefully the cohesion will be a little bit stronger. And then the defense just trying to, again, keep the same sort of group. Making some tweaks to the linebacker. I think, like, getting a little bit stronger there. We did have to part ways with Jalen Simpson, just to avoid repaying him. But I think we've got a top 10 pick as well. Hopefully that corner will fall to us, and I think he can be a real deal. Oh, they got us taking a tight end as well, but that's because we only have one on the roster right now. But this corner, Lane Fincher, we should be able to get him. He looks like he's going to fall all the way to Green Bay, but we'll take him at 10. I feel pretty good about him. Yeah, really strong metrics. Solid personality. And he crushed the combine, I would say. Not super fast, but 4.47's pretty fast still. And he absolutely smoked everything else, though. Seismic, reps, jumping, quickness, like, he's the real deal. 6'2", 206. That's a boy right there. That's a boy. This receiver also looks pretty good. But yeah, I think Lance Fincher will bring our defense over the top for sure. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I'm not going to drag this on any longer. We'll get the draft in the next video, and we'll continue pushing forward for a Super Bowl this year, 2027. Peace.